I was crawling under a table in the Oval Office. And my Uncle Larry went under the table to try and get me. And as he went under, he looked up and he saw a microphone under the side table in the Oval Office.
Brad Blanks, and I've got Detective Michael Devine here. How are you, sir?
Former Detective Sergeant Michael Devine. Not anymore. A couple months as a civilian now.
So what you did 22 years as a New York police officer?
I did 22 years. I came on in 1998, and then I was a police officer, then a sergeant, then a detective sergeant, and then I retired. I spent most of it. I did 12 years in the detective bureau. So wow. I just retired a couple months ago. I'm just trying to, I'm decompressing still.
Yeah, so now it's the acting game full time, even though you have been acting for a long time yourself.
Right, I've been trying to juggle both for a long time. I got my SAG card 18 years ago, so I've been trying to juggle both, and now I can finally focus full time on one job.
Got it. Now, all right. So you're in The Undoing. How has it changed amongst people? You know, people knowing you more from this show. Do you feel?
It's hard now because this might be the first thing where I would actually get some outside recognition. But 2020, we're all wearing masks, so I can't really gauge it. But I've always gotten for the past few years sort of like, did you come and do plumbing in our house, or where do I know you from? Do we go to high school together? And then I don't know if I arrested them or they saw me on Limitless or whatever. I have an identity crisis. I've always had one.
All right. So what's more daunting, you going head to head with a murder suspect in one of those rooms in your local police station, or going up against Nicole Kidman?
Both are daunting in their own way. But luckily with Nicole Kidman and we have a David E. Kelly script I can follow. The other one, I have to rely on myself or my partner. So, and we don't know how that one's going to end. Although with The Undoing, very few people know how it's going to end.
Yep, very good. Well, your scenes with Kidman, and knowing your background and knowing that you're a police officer and an actor at the same time, I'm actually getting nervous for you because she is intense in some of these scenes,
yes.
looking right in your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was very intense, and I really had to bring my A game. But she draws you in. I mean, I stopped being starstruck, and all of a sudden, everything around us disappeared, which rarely for me as an actor it does. I'm always conscious of hitting my marks and where the camera is, but all of that just disappeared, and it was just us. It was me and Edgar and Nicole, and the world disappeared, and she took us there. It was fantastic. It was a breakthrough for me as an actor, and I swear I left that show as a better actor.
All right, we might have seen you if we had got arrested one day, ended up in the drunk tank. We might have ran into you, or we might have seen you on TV shows, Law and Order, Limitless. But I'm sure I've seen you sing the national anthem at a major sporting event in New York City. Which one is your favorite place to sing? Which stadium?
I actually loved it was because it was a little unique. I did Madison Square Garden, and it was the Golden Gloves. And I just thought that was so cool. I mean, baseball stadiums are great, but being in the middle, because they formed the ring in the middle of Madison Square Garden. So I got to climb through the ropes and then stand in the ring and sing the national anthem. It was for baseball games and other events we see so often, but I rarely get to go to a boxing match and to participate so fully. It was great, but I got out of there just in time.
Of course, you are a singing detective as well as an actor.
Yeah.
How does it go? Like on your Thursday night after work beers? Do your buddies always try to get you to sing Danny Boy and stuff?
They do get me to sing Danny Boy, and I've gotten it's really kind of sad because when I've had colleagues at work, every time they have a family member die, they say, "Can you come to the funeral and sing Danny Boy?" But other times I'm forbidden, and a lot of it we just go out and have beers, and whatever comes up comes up. There were a couple of times where if I go out with the guys from the Emerald Society, that we do end up at a bar at 3 a.m. Oh Danny Boy. But I like to hear them sing. If it's someone who can sing, who cares? You hear it everywhere. But I want to hear these guys who don't normally sing.
Got you. And I'm just laughing at you. Sit there going, guys, look, stop inviting me to your family members' funerals. Like,
And I can't,
respect.
and I can never say no. I can't say no to that. And it's an honor, but it is. I'm kind of, people think of my music and they just, you know, maybe it's a good thing, but it just makes them want to cry.
Now, you followed in your grandfather's footsteps, and your father was a FBI agent, a federal agent. Is that
a drug enforcement agent?
A drug enforcement agent, and the, you know, I've learned an amazing story. You know, sadly, your father was injured in the line of duty, and then President Nixon, invited your family to the White House.
Right.
What happened when you went to the White House?
It's really an incredible story, and for years I would never say it. My father was shot. He was confined to a wheelchair, and I was just one. It was 1972, I believe, if I have the dates right. And after the shooting, he was confined to a wheelchair, and all of us were invited to the White House. Richard Nixon was presenting him with an award. As the story goes, I was crawling under a table in the Oval Office. And my Uncle Larry went under the table to try and get me. And as he went under, he looked up and he saw a microphone under the side table in the Oval Office. And that story stayed in my family for the longest time, because who would believe it? Because Watergate broke just a few months after that. So I was 1 year old and trying to take down a president. But it got even more interesting. A few months later, what was it, 2016, the Nixon tapes were released. So for the first time, it was a quick internet search, and I threw in the date. I remember the date of that event, and I was able to hear my father's voice. That entire event was recorded, so I was able to hear that event, and so now I can finally tell that story, because I have proof that it happened. But my life is just crazy circles. Wonderful at times, but it's crazy.
Yeah, that incredible. So your father's voice of that meeting of Nixon in the White House is on the Nixon tapes.
It was either 2014 or 16, but as soon as they came out, I had an idea, and I said, let me go and see if that recording is on tape. I expected, to hear Uncle Larry say, "Michael, get out from under there." But no, it wasn't so dramatic, but we're so happy. I remember there was a crying baby.
Is there a crying baby on the tapes?
Yeah, absolutely. I wish someone told me to shut up. I'm sure they were sidetracked with something else, but yeah, there's a crying baby on the tape, and it was beautiful, because I was able to hear my dad's voice, and at that point I hadn't heard it in I think about 30 years. So it was very, very touching. And then, even stranger, I was cast in Steven Spielberg's The Post, where I played a reporter in the Washington Post in 1971, which is the same newsroom that broke Watergate.
Did Spielberg know this story?
I was trying to find a moment, because I told my other cast members, and they were floored by it. Yeah. And I wasn't there, but one of them told Tom Hanks, and his reaction was, even Robert Zemeckis would say that's too much. No one would believe it. But the guy that directed Back to the Future. Yeah. But I never got a chance. Apparently, the other cast members told Steven Spielberg, but I didn't get a chance to tell him myself, unfortunately.
Oh, it's brilliant. You can just say, "Spielberg, I'm on the Nixon tapes. I was a baby in the Oval Office." I reckon it is
insane. And it's even funnier, because you're telling Tom Hanks, and it seems like a Forrest Gump story.
Yeah.
Who's this guy involved in all of this? And it is just, it's weird, but wonderful.
Detective Michael Devine, the Forrest Gump of the New York City Police Department.
That's me, yeah. I've been called worse. I'll take it.
All right, in final words, you play a detective on The Undoing. You were a detective in real life. Are you similar guys, or is one nicer than the other?
I think because Edgar his character, Mendoza, is so polished, I really tried to offset that. And I'm not saying that I'm super polished in real life, but I really tried to provide a counterpoint. And in fact, I threw in my New York accent, which took me forever to get rid of. So I kind of made a little rough around the edges. I undid my top button, and I started making him talk like this, and I kind of made him sound like some detectives that I know. Mm. So he is a bit removed, but at the end of the day, his through line and his search for the truth and justice for this young lady, that's all similar. And acting and detective detective work, it's all, and The Undoing, it's all just a search for the truth.
Yeah, good answer. All right, well, I'm convinced. I would tell you everything if you had me under bright lights. You seem
okay, what do you know? What do you got? Spill it.
Very convincing detective. Good man.
I'm always the good cop. I can't be the bad cop.
So you are the good cop in life?
I generally am. I mean, look at my face. It's sort of like a 40-something Pillsbury Doughboy. So I can't be intimidating as much as I'd like to be. So I tend to be the good cop. Yeah.
So in the interrogation rooms, how did your perps treat you?
Actually, pretty well. And I will say, if there are any perps listening, that the good cop, bad cop thing, completely realistic. That happens all the time. It's completely true. And I guess because you're in that situation and you're looking for somebody to help you. And so you'll even take another cop. So it's a very interesting psychology. But so yeah, if you find yourself in the wrong end of the table, look out for that old trick.
Well, what's the finale of The Undoing, and watch him break down Nicole Kidman?
I can't say anything. I'm not saying anything about the finale.
Wonderful. Michael, thanks, mate. You're a champion.
Thank you, Brian. This was great. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.